Good day, everyone. Is your AC frozen solid? Here's the 5-minute fix that could save you $500. So you walk outside and your AC unit looks like a solid block of ice in the middle of July. Before you panic or call a tech, that's going to cost you $500 in a service call. Grab your flashlight because I'm going to tell you 3 ways and 3 possibilities and things to check before you do that. And 2 of them you can fix for yourself right away. There's 3 most common issues for an air conditioning system is airflow, and refrigerant levels. So airflow issues can come from several areas, which is why I named it twice. So there's several different issues that can contribute to this. So one would be the very first thing you want to check is your air filter. The air filter, if it's blocked, is going to restrict airflow across your air conditioning unit and cause the saturation temperature to change to a point where it starts to frost up and freeze on your evaporator coil. As it freezes up, it starts to restrict the airflow that goes through that coil, compounding your problem, right? So make sure that your air conditioning system and heating system has a clean air filter and it's checked on the regular. So first check your air filter. If it's plugged, replace it immediately. Blocked registers and return air grills are another common culprit. So for example, if you have registers that your cold air comes out of on the floor or the ceiling in the basement that have shut-off louvers on them, if they have been closed for some reason, that will restrict the amount of airflow through your heating and cooling system. And that will also cause the restriction of airflow will also cause a freeze up condition potentially if you choke that airflow off too much. So check bathrooms, bedrooms. Sometimes people don't like the cold air coming from a vent in the bedroom because they're in the cold spot of the home, the coldest room, so they'll shut it off. Kids, teenagers are famous for this. If you get a new carpet in your foyer or area rug that accidentally covers a vent or a register for some reason. I've also even seen cold air returns. Check those that you didn't put a piece of furniture or a couch right up against the wall where it's actually blocking a cold air return that's choking the furnace off from air so it can't get the air it needs for proper airflow. So those are a couple things. I've also seen in a cold air return some systems or some apparatuses that have the cold air return screen and it has a fold down door on it and there's filters in those. Sometimes you can get ones that have filters in them. They're horrible. Don't use them. Remove the filters. Your furnace filter is sufficient enough. You don't need that extra protection. But if it's a rental property, sometimes they'll have those in there and the renter doesn't know. They're just changing their furnace filter, but their cold air returns are completely blocked because those filters haven't been changed or removed. So that's an issue. I've also seen homeowners take dryer vents they have a musty smell or something in their home, or they like the smell of clean linen. So they'll take dryer sheets and they'll put them in their register so that the odor from the linen sheets or dryer sheets will give a fresh scent in the home. Well, they collect dust and residue and they block a certain amount of airflow through your vents. And that again causes your freeze up problem on your air conditioning system. So those are 2 things that you can check. Another thing that you can check is visually is go outside and take a look at your condenser unit. That's the big unit outside that has the fan that's spinning and a compressor inside that makes that humming noise. That's called a condenser unit. And on the outside of that condenser unit, it has coil. So the coil, it looks like a radiator in a car. So it's got cooling fins in it, and the air is drawn through those cooling fins, and it removes the heat from the home. Right, that's its whole job. These are very neglected pieces of equipment. They're sitting out in the elements all the time, so eventually they get caked on dust, debris, and dirt, and it blocks the airflow through that unit because that fan on the top of there is drawing air from outside through that coil and up out of the top of that air conditioner. If you put your hand over top of the air conditioner, it should feel warm because it's removing the heat from your home, right? But if those fins are blocked, then that could be an issue too. Quick fix: when the air conditioner is running, you want to take a garden hose on a light stream, put your thumb over, and or if you have a fancy nozzle that has settings on it, you just put the shower setting on and lightly on a 45-degree angle, move up and down and spray that coil, and it'll wash the debris off of there for you. But that's another culprit as well. So on an air conditioning maintenance, your technician, he's going to do that for you, right? On a regular maintenance. So the other thing that could potentially be an issue is might require a technician is going to be your A coil, and that's your evaporator coil in just above your furnace that your copper line set goes into. That also has cooling fins on it like a radiator in a car. And if you are neglectful in changing your furnace filters on the regular, or rental properties are known for this too, where they take the filter out and, oh, I'll get to it next week, and they never replace it. Well, the dirt gets through the system and gets blocked on that A coil on the bottom side, where you're going to need a technician to come in to dismantle your ductwork and clean it from the inside in a worst case scenario. So those are your airflow culprits and issues that could potentially cause you freeze ups. The last one would be, and the most rare really, is the low refrigerant condition inside of your system, which means you have a leak somewhere, which in that case, you're going to need to call a certified technician to come out and do a proper leak test, find out where the leak is, repair it, and then top up your refrigerant and recharge the system properly. So that is the major 90% of your frozen air conditioning units are caused by this, and hopefully you found it helpful and get yourself out of a jam and save yourself $500 when not having to call a service technician. So hopefully that worked for you. So have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.